Hey, let me know what you think. We dropped some new music in. We got about 3 3/4 minutes. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about media. We're going to talk about how just damn good this music makes me feel. Talk to you here in about 3 minutes. Make sure you share the show. It's time to stop doing nothing this Friday. Let's get it on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, you beautiful, sexy cohabitators of planet Earth with me. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling. Drop a comment, whether you're watching on YouTube, which actually I think might be my preferred platform. I think I get more viewers from Facebook, but I think YouTube is the one I really want to push people to. And also, Brian let me know about the new music and what you thought. If you have a chance, go back and listen to the beginning and let me know what you think. I just didn't want to be boring. So I'm gonna think what I think I may do is maybe find a couple of more songs that are upbeat and put them in rotation. Brian, I mean, thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate the fact that people have different tastes for sure. But I was just looking for something upbeat, and although I'm not going to say I'm a very churchy person, especially Baptist, I that to me sounds like a very gospel jam. I was on Theme Force and I found that. And the cool thing about technology is I found that like 15, 20 minutes ago, whipped out my credit card, bought it. But when I go music shopping, I'm going to tell you right now, when I go music shopping for, instrumental tracks, for backing, for videos, for shows, for things like this, I just go down a rabbit hole because I'll start, on these websites, you can favorite, you can favorite this music and give favorite that song, can favorite this song, and I'll just start favoriting everything that's like a good funky jam. A lot of them feel very gospely, very much things from 70s and like 70s and 80s instrumentals. Obviously, I can't license those, but songs that sound like that. This morning, I went searching for a licensable version of an instrumental for 24 karat gold, and I couldn't find that. But I'm going to see if I can find something similar to that. But either way, thank you, thank you. Hey, everybody, Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Is anyone suspicious? Is anyone scared that something's going to happen? Is anyone hiding out today because it's Friday the 13th? I really, really hope not, because it's just a day. It's just a day, my brothers and sisters. It is just another day. Hey, it's Patrick Almond. For those of you, I got to remember, some people are watching this for the very first time. It's Patrick Almond here at Stop Doing Nothing Media, and this is the Stop Doing Nothing show. We go live 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock. Unless I am dead or dead sick, or who knows the reason why. I've even thought about turning this into like a 24-hour channel and playing other people's content, the other 23 hours of the day. But either way, yeah, I run a marketing agency here in Oklahoma City, and we do, we help businesses get organized with their media and with their content and with their leads. And that's what I really enjoy doing and I was on a Zoom call yesterday with other people in the marketing world like me. We were talking about lead generation, how, us techies, sometimes we get bogged down in the tech part. We think that tech is fascinating. I'm an agency, a growing agency, and we recommend this product called High Level, which we call our Playmakers platform. And I have to admit, I just get bogged down in the tech sometime. But I have to keep remembering also that I did not get in business to be a techie. I did not go in business to learn more tech skills. I went in business to, put food on the table and provide for my family and teach people and have an impact on the world. And that's hard to forget sometimes when you're a techie. If anyone here is a techie, leave me a comment here. But when you're a techie and you just get lost in the tech and you can lose track of time. Here's one of the lessons, one of the life lessons I wish I could have gone back to my younger self and told myself, is that you can lose hours and days playing with technical stuff. You really can. There are plenty of days now. I remember in my history where I would get really bogged down in a tech solution or trying to solve somebody else's problem, and I would work on it from sunrise until sundown, like even on the weekends. And I would be so happy with myself that, oh goodness, I worked on this 12 hours on Saturday and 12 hours on Sunday. And here it is, 5 or 6 p.m. on Sunday night, and I haven't done jack. I haven't showered. I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten well. I'll put it to you that way. I haven't taken care of myself. I haven't socialized. And that is a constant challenge I have to remind myself of, that I am not here to be the best tech person in the world. I'm here to be the best business owner and the most profitable business owner, and the person having the most impact in helping other people become really good business owners. So, for my tech heads, don't forget, you're a human being. Please be a human also. Let's see, what do we have here in the show notes? What was on my mind this morning? Oh my goodness gracious. Here we go. If you Lyft literally worked an hour yesterday for messaging API stuff, Frankie, my man, come on. We got to get you out in some sunlight. But man, I completely understand it though, Frankie. I really do. Whether it's a high level or working on a JavaScript problem or like my tech setup. You may not see it here. I've got a lot of wires and tech setup stuff, and I love this stuff. I used to help build recording studios when I was younger, and I do some local work at all the local television stations, and I'm like the guy. As much as I want to be in front of camera and help people, I'm like, ooh, take me to the control room. I love going to the control room at a television studio because there's so many monitors and buttons and knobs and things to click. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to play. And that's probably why in high school, I don't think junior high school, but in high school, I was in stage manager class, where you just walk around and run wires and do sound and do stuff like that. And I've always been like a guy who runs the mixer, who runs the camera crew, and who does the camera switching, man. But Frankie, man, glad to hear that you at least got out of work, man. Please try to do something today that doesn't have you so bogged down with API stuff. But do share what you were working on, Frankie. Now that I've said all that tech rant, please do share what you were working on in the comments, because I'm curious, brother. Because I'm always curious what you're working on. Um, I found I get dinged every now and then in DM on social media for being someone who's not very coddling and warm and goody feely and huggy, and it comes usually in terms of life and business advice. So I call it. Another buddy of mine, Bald Guy Marketing on YouTube. Make sure you follow him. His name is Keith Bashir. Keith, if you're watching, please let me know. If Keith's not watching, can someone tag Keith to get him in here? Keith and I have Keith and I have this DM philosophy when we're in discussions with other people. There's just no coddling. There is I'm not going to say there's too much coddling in the world, but just often I'm just getting to the point in life where I just want to get straight to the point. If you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong, and stop that shit. I'm going to tell you, okay, you're doing it wrong. Fix it. You want to get someplace faster. You want to have success faster. Stop bullshitting yourself, okay? Stop taking the slow route. Stop not doing the work. There was a discussion this morning, I think I was part of it, I can't remember which group it was, where somebody was like, oh, can someone give me this? And someone give me this? And someone give me this? And I'm like, I think the discussion ended up is, why do you want all this stuff? Well, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Just someone give it to me. Well, you know what? More than likely, if you don't have money, you have time. And if you have time, you can get off your butt and build some things yourself. And this particular discussion, I think it was videos, right? I think somebody wanted a bunch of videos, and they wanted another company to just give them these videos so they could use them to sell something. And this happened with somebody else on the discussion I was in, where somebody wanted a bunch of slides that they had seen in a presentation, and they weren't even part of the community. They hadn't even bought the product that they wanted the slides for. But the slides would help them sell them more. So they just popped in. I think it was a community on Reddit. They just popped in and said, "Hey, can someone give me the slides?" And I'm like, and even in their initial post, they said, I am not in this product. I haven't purchased this product. I haven't paid any money for it. But I want the slides I saw in a public presentation from this product so I can sell some more stuff. And I'm like, wait, why do you get the slides? People like me have put in the time and sweat and money to get these slides and to get this training, and you just want them for free? No. Now, I try not to be a total dick. Okay, there are some times where I think it's plenty okay to help somebody out and be nice. Okay, don't make it seem like I'm a total a-hole. Okay, but if you're just not willing to put in the effort yourself on like a simple Google search, these days I get a lot of DMs, and I'm a participate in some discussions online where people could have solved their problem with a Google search. Like they'll type up 3 or 4 long paragraphs of I want, I need, and I'm like, if you would have taken the time to go do a Google search on that same topic, you would have the answer by now. As a matter of fact, I would go do the Google search for you and just copy and paste the answer over. That's how I've learned. That's how I've learned one of the ways you can be an expert on social media and online in general is just be a fast Googler. There are so many times where I've either been on a Zoom call or I've been in person at a coffee shop, or I've been on social media and someone doesn't know how to do something, and I'm like, Google, copy, paste over, and then they're like, oh my goodness, you're amazing. You know everything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just really good at Google. And tools like ChatGPT are going to make that even easier, okay? Because Google, you kind of have to filter through the results. And here's, to me, is one of the big benefits of AI, is filtering through the results. ChatGPT and those other tools like that do a halfway decent job of consolidating data and summarizing data from several different sources. Old school people like me who go to a search engine, I often have to click on link after link after link to kind of find the information and consolidate the answer. And maybe one person had part of the answer and the other person had the other part of the answer. these tools like ChatGPT are going to be able to suck in more information and summarize answers better to give a more, what I would call a more holistic answer. So that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to. One of the big benefits I see of AI is the ability for it to consolidate a bunch of information and save me a bunch of clicks. Now, there's still something to be said about doing your own research, which guess what? We're going to be talking about the media today, and the media hate that we see out there. And part of the way you can get rid of some of the media hate is doing some of your own research. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how I do that. And I'll get into it here in a little bit, but today's main show is about, and if you want to see this, go look on my Facebook wall. I made a long post yesterday about media hate and how easy it is to hate the media and blame the media for your problems. And me in my no coddling, no bullshit mode, it's like, stop blaming the media for your problems. You're a grown ass adult. You can do your research. You know, you were given the basic skills in high school of how to research multiple sources of information and filter out the bullshit. So quit blaming media for your problems. So if you want to know what we're going to be talking about today, go look at my Facebook wall and see what I posted yesterday. I'm going to actually make sure I bring that up here myself so I can kind of run through that, because I feel very deeply about this. And I don't know if it's my no coddling attitude. I don't know if it's the fact that I work with people in media and a lot of them are my friends, or just what I've learned over time is just the attitude of what, just get off your ass and do your work. So let me go find that. So let me go find the post. Okay, so I've got that post ready right there. But getting back to a little bit of what I was saying earlier, if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of money to get a business off the ground or doesn't have a lot of resources, you have time, okay? You have time, you have an internet connection. If you don't have an internet connection, you can drive to your local Dunkin' Donuts or your coffee shop and use the internet connection. If you have a fire in your belly and you have a passion for something, you will go to the ends of the earth. Oh, you know what? You have a library, free internet library. You will go to the ends of the earth to find the information and get something done. I'm curious how many of you watching have been in a situation where you didn't have a lot of resources to figure out a problem. And so you just buckled down and figured it out. You didn't have an expert or a guru over your shoulder. There was no one you could call for tech support. You just put on your big girl panties, put your shoulder into it, and you brute forced the knowledge because you had to. Okay. That has been a good chunk of my life. Okay. I don't have a formal college education. I went through the military and then I dove headfirst into the into the IT industry. Okay. And one of the ways I got so good, because I've received several bonuses. When I worked for IBM, I got several bonuses and early promotions. Is just because I I think I have the ability to brute force find solutions and stick with it. Sometimes more than my peers. And Frankie, being a techie, you may be the same way, man. Where if you don't, a lot of people when they don't know the answer to something, they'll just throw their hands up. Oh, don't know the answer. I give up. I walk away. I'll make it somebody else's problem. What if you're the guy? What if you're the someone else? Okay, I'll give you an example, and this is some stuff that's coming off the top of my head here. I used to work at the Hertz data center here down in Oklahoma City, and when I first started, when I got out of the military, I was the low man on the totem pole, and the low man and the part of Hertz runs a good chunk of Hertz actually ran on a mainframe. And if you have any classic IT skills, you know that a mainframe never sleeps. Okay, a mainframe is going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, processing stuff. And because of that, and because of just the way technology was at the time, a mainframe has to be manned and staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So over here at Hertz, there were mainframe operators in the basement, usually two or three on shift, and then there was a higher level, higher knowledge tech support guy like me up on one of the other floors by myself, 8 hours a night. And when operations would have a problem, they would call me or give me an online message, and I would go and I would fix the advanced problem, press continue on the job or whatever it was. And the it was called batch processing or background processing. It was JCL Oh my goodness, I'm aging myself here. I hate to say words like JCL. As soon as you say JCL, people instantly add 20 years to your age on camera. So that was my job. And because I was new at Hertz, and this was back in 86, 90, 90 time frame, I think, 1990 time frame, I was I was low man on the totem pole. And you know what? Because the mainframe has to be staffed 24 hours a day, guess what low man on the totem pole gets, okay? Low man on the totem pole gets the poor shifts, the bad shifts, okay? So it must be nice when you go to a company like that and you're there from 8 to 5 in the morning and you've got, 100 people around who you can rely on to solve problems, okay? Not low man on the totem pole. When I first started at Hertz, I was given a couple of months of training during the day, and they're like, okay, low man on the totem pole, you got to go do low man jobs. Or on Yellowstone, I think it's called low man on Yellowstone, right? Same thing. And so I got assigned the 4 to 12 shift. So what that meant is I would come in at 3:45, 4 o'clock, bring my lunch or my dinner or whatever, and I would have an hour overlap with the 8 to 5 people, and everybody in the building would leave. Everybody in the building was gone that had all the technical knowledge, all the programming knowledge, all the skills to solve most of the problems. And it was the 2 or 3 operators in the basement and Patrick. And I would literally sit in a building from 4 to 12 p.m. as the sun went down over here on Northwest Expressway and MacArthur, for those of you familiar with Oklahoma City. And my job was to fix problems most of the time without the knowledge of them. So that's where kind of my brute force tech support skills probably really shined, I think is the word there. Is a problem would break like a payroll problem. Okay, so the classic IT stuff is these batch jobs run. Okay, like a payroll batch job runs or an accounts payable batch job runs, and the program would just break. It would just run into some data it couldn't figure out, and the program would just stop. And the operators would see it, and they would alert me, and I would have to start going through the code and or the all the error messages and figure out what the heck this is. And it's not like I could go find the programmer that wrote the code 3 cubicles over and get their help with it. No, that programmer is at home having a drink, maybe in bed, maybe playing with the kids, maybe out to dinner. I don't know. The person that really does know the problem is not anywhere around. So yours truly had to figure it out. A lot of times, I could look it up in a book. As time went on, of course, I got better and better with these things. But a lot of times, especially in the beginning, probably a good, I don't know, 60 to 70% of the problems I had no idea how to fix. I have to look them up in the book. I'd have to call somebody at home. You know what it's like calling somebody at 11 o'clock at night who's dead asleep, telling them their software broke and they need help and you need help fixing it. Even worse, it was like a really severe problem. I would tell them, you need to get in the car and drive here and fix it because this problem is so big, I can't fix it. So as I was low man on the totem pole, I really didn't have someone around like immediately close to me where I could say, can you fix this? Can I get some help with this? I had to figure it out. And this was before the age of Google. This is when we had libraries of big giant technical books. And I remember because I was in charge of the library at one point, and I would have to go find the technical book to match the error message, flip through it and read it and goes, oh, I have no idea what the heck this means. I guess I'll just figure it out. And I got really good at the tech support skills over time. And eventually I wasn't low man on the totem pole anymore, and I moved up to fancy day shift. I think one of the reasons I did is because in my few spare hours in the evening, I started writing started writing some really good utilities that the entire company was using, and they eventually figured out, oh, we need this guy here during the day, and they hired some more. There's always staff rotation, so it was a new low man on the totem pole. Let's see what Frank says. Let's see what Frankie says here. I definitely struggle a bit with prioritizing how important a tech issue actually is when I get lost in trying to find the solution. Yeah, Frankie, man, brother, I definitely hear you. I really do. And I also struggle, Frankie, and I don't know if you're in this position or not, of outsourcing and giving that to someone else, okay? That is something I definitely struggle with, especially when I know I'm an intelligent man. I know that there are people way smarter than me on most topics in the world, okay? Whether it's API stuff that you worked on, or JavaScript, or other things, or pay per click. I struggle with outsourcing stuff because I have a little bit of a control issue with making sure, um, making sure that making sure control issue, making sure that I can free up and let somebody else do it. Hey, Robert, man, good to see you. It's all good. You can go back and watch the beginning, man. This is my buddy Robert Kennedy. Everybody, he has a live show also. And Robert, if you haven't done so yet, I don't see it down here. Can you please drop the link to your live show? I have to admit, there are the people in the people in the live stream world. There are probably only 5 to 10 I know personally that I really respect, and Robert is one of them. He's a good-looking guy like me. He has a similar haircut than I do. Has a lot more fancy facial hair than I do, but the guy is brilliant. So you need to make sure you follow his show also. But yeah, Robert, when you get a chance, man, go back and watch the beginning with the new music. I'm getting mixed reviews on it, but either way, man, it's good to have you here. And drop a link to your YouTube channel also, please. But anyways, my whole point with that whole tech support story is a lot of times in my life, I had to brute force learn technology. Okay, brute force learn marketing, brute force learn this stuff for a couple of reasons. One, because I have no formal training in most of this stuff, but also I have tended to work. And Frankie, you may be in this situation also. I have tended to work in cutting edge industries, okay? And cutting edge industries have no college courses. And you know what? There's also no college courses on debugging and fixing issues and supporting software. So right now, schooling has always struggled to keep up with technology, okay? And there is, right now, for example, we have like AIs and Claudes and Chat GPT and all these things. I'm trying to learn. You cannot go to school to learn some of the stuff that we have to learn brute force wise, okay? And again, this goes back to the techies. The techies who are coming up with the Chat GPTs in the world, they're putting these tools out there and they're worrying about the documentation later. So you're figuring it out on your own as they're releasing stuff. So here's a really cool thing. And for those of you who don't know, one of the things we do sell here is not Chat GPT, an AI booking bot, where we can put a bot on your website to book appointments for you, which means someone comes to your website. Let's say it's Frankie's website, and this little thing pops up and says, "Hey, what's going on?" And Patrick, who needs Frankie's services, can say, "Hey, I was looking to get some help with some API work. Do you do API work?" And now the bot, everything I'm saying on the bot side is automatically programmed. Okay, the bot can go back says, "Yeah, we do API support. Do you wanna book a time to talk about that?" And if you say yes, the bot comes back and says, "When do you want to do that?" And I could say, "Oh, next week." And the bot could say, "Sure. Oh, look, I'm looking at our calendar. We have time Monday of next week these days and Wednesday of next week these days." You reply, "Ooh, Monday at 2 p.m." And the bot says, "Cool. Confirm Monday at 2 p.m. What's your email address so I can send it over?" That's the kind of stuff we deploy. Okay. If you ever want something like that, blatant, shameless plug. Um, um, that we can put something like that on your website. But my point is, I cannot go down to a school anywhere here in Oklahoma City and learn about this technology. It's moving that fast. So we the techies are the ones taking the arrows in the back, learning a lot of the new tech to make it easier for the non-techies in the world. Okay, and so my whole point of that was, if you don't have money to learn something, or you don't have money to pay somebody else to do something, or if you don't have money to buy another resource to do it, you're going to have to use the time you have to replace the money and spend time learning some of these things yourself. It's going to be frustrating, it's going to piss you off, and you're going to cry. There are plenty of times where me working on technical issues has made me cry, okay? Because I can't figure it out. And sometimes my job depends on it. And so sometimes I've had to go to my boss and say, listen, I've worked on this for 2 days solid. I know a bunch of company information is held up based on this. I can't figure it out. I need help, okay? But that's made me a stronger tech person. It's helped me grow my business. And when I was at Hertz and IBM, I actually got early promotions because of it. It was kind of interesting because I would work with some guys who had been there like decades. And I was the younger guy. I was the guy who was absorbing all the knowledge. And I would eventually get promoted to the same level as people who had been there decades. As a matter of fact, one of my proudest moments at Hertz was when we kind of transitioned over to IBM. IBM came in and outsourced us, okay? And IBM saw my skills. They saw that people like me were, severely underpaid because everyone was paid on tenure. No, I take that back. People were paid at Hertz were mainly paid on tenure. Every year you got a promotion. So obviously, the longer you were there, the more money that you made. Well, IBM comes in one day, and I promise I'm going someplace with this. IBM comes in one day and says, "Oh, so this is the way IBM works. We have everyone in positions, and all of you in this department, whether you've been here 14 years or 4 years, you are all in the same position. You all get the same salary. So what did that mean? That means Patrick got a 40% salary raise in 1 year to bring me up to my peers who had been there. And it wasn't, I'm not ashamed to say it. It definitely was not an undeserved raise. I worked my butt off for it. But that's always fun, calling your wife and saying, "Hey, just so you know, I got a 40% pay raise today." That'll change your life a little bit when you get a 40% pay raise for sure. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, if you don't have money, you have time. Use the time to learn stuff, to make money. Once you have more money, you can buy more time. Once you can buy more time, you can make more money to buy more time, yada, yada, yada. And eventually you're working 30 minutes a day on the beach with a margarita in your hand, and you've outsourced everything else, right? That's the goal, right? Friday the 13th, we already talked about that. I am not superstitious. I'm also not dumb, but yeah, please be careful out there if you are superstitious. So let's talk about our main topic today. My title, in case you missed it, in case you just randomly tuned in, was what the people that tell you the media lies to you, or how. What was the actual title, Patrick? I'm stumbling over my words here. Let's go find my preview image. Oh, here we go. Why the people telling you the media lies to you lie. That's what it was. Okay, so this all came about because I was involved in some conversation. I can't remember what it was. Some conversation, or I saw something online, which is what triggers a lot of my discussion points. And somebody was saying, "Don't trust the media. It's political season. Remember, the media is here to build distrust and FUD and muck up things." And I'm like, no. Then all of a sudden I go into no coddling, no bullshit mode, okay? No, that is not why the media is here. And it's irresponsible for you to say that, Mr. Man. It's just completely irresponsible. So here's my response, which is going to trigger our discussion today. So this is on my Facebook wall, by the way. If you ever want to reshare it, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. The media as a blanket statement is not your enemy. The media is a blanket statement, and they are an easy target to hate and generalize. When someone wants to be a hero, they often fabricate an enemy. The media is an easy target for politicians to make their enemy, because that's the kind of season we're in, right? We're in political distrust season, okay? September 2024, political distrust season. Yes, there are talking head shows and debate shows which are 100% biased. Some are on the air, as in, broadcast, and some have very popular YouTube channels. Those are not journalism or news, okay? And I want to repeat this. Talking head shows, even if they're on Fox or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or whatever, they have news and journalistic shows, and they have entertainment shows, okay? The something news hour, I can't think of what it was. That is not a news show. That is an entertainment show that happens to be on a news channel, okay? So, again, yes, there are talking head shows and debate shows which are 100% biased. Some are on the air, and some have very popular YouTube channels. Those are not journalism or news. Those are entertainment. Learn the difference, okay? If you can learn the difference between entertainment and news, you will be so further ahead in this world, because most people just do not distinguish those two. They see, they see something on NBC, on NBCnews.com, and the entertainment stuff is right next to the real journalistic stories, and they say, "Oh, the entertainment stuff is crap. It's truth. It's mistruth. It's misleading. So everything on that site must be misleading." That's bullshit. Okay, there are plenty of legitimate journalists that have more time and resources than most people will ever have to research truth from fiction. Listen to them, and when something sounds incredulous or fake, verify it with other legitimate journalists. It is your right and your responsibility to fact check the information you consume. You know what? I'm even going to copy that and put that in the chat so everybody sees it later. Okay? This is so important to me and part of my no coddling mindset, okay? It's your right and your responsibility to fact check the information you consume. This even includes stuff on social media, which is where we get into this right here. And ironically, because I was posting this on social media, do not get political information from Facebook memes or random bloggers / YouTubers that have zero fact-based information. We've all seen this out there. There are YouTubers out there which present what they consider, they call it the news show, and they have no journalistic background. They have no training. They have no connection to any of the information they do. And I'll give you an example. A lot of the reporters I work with here drive around the city and they talk to people that are in the news stories, okay? There are YouTubers who never leave their parents' basement, their mom's basement, that will say they put on a news show, okay? I don't ever claim this to be a news show. I may share some news, but I don't ever claim to have any kind of journalistic background or journalistic, ethics or standards or morals at all, okay? I rely on the professionals for that, okay? And ironically, do not get political information from Facebook memes or random bloggers / YouTubers that have zero fact-based information. I can't emphasize this enough. Facebook is composed of 3 billion daily active users. Can you imagine that? 3 billion of them. Several of which are here to generate attention and views regardless of the truth or fact-checking. Those are the ones you should be seriously doubting when they state something to fact. And of course, the ending line, and make sure you're registered to vote. If you are not registered to vote, please do that, because you sure as heck can't complain about the results if you didn't participate in the process, okay? So please go read that. If you agree with it, I'm going to ask you to share it. And my whole goal with this post was people love to cop out. People love to cop out from their responsibility as a human being. And in the typical Patrick no coddling / stop doing nothing mindset, I don't let people cop out. I'm going to put your face, put your nose to the grindstone and make you do the work, okay? Don't blame the media because you don't want to research and learn about information, okay? So here's some other notes on this. So first of all, just to make sure people don't think I am biased, or you can choose to think I'm biased, whatever, I don't care. I just want to give you my relationship with the media, okay? Because I do go over to TV stations on the regular, multiple TV stations, and I'm on camera giving my opinion about something, okay? In the last 7 days, I think I was over at KFOR here in Oklahoma City, inside the TV studio, on camera, mic'd up, giving my opinion on something. And I get to go around the newsroom and visit the sets and see the anchors. I mean, a lot of them are buddies of mine, and a lot of reporters have my personal cell phone. And it's just not uncommon on any given week for me to get a text or a phone call from a reporter and says, "Hey, Patrick, can we come to you, or can you come to us? Because we want to do a story. We want to do a story on a given thing." So I'll drive over to, like KFOR the other day. I'll drive over, I'll walk in the front door, the front desk lady, because I've been there so much, like, "Hey, Patrick, good to see you. Someone's going to come right out and get you." So I'm very friendly with the staff there. And I'll go back and I'll do a story. I'll give my opinion on something, usually a tech story or, child endangerment story or something around social media. And by child endangerment, I mean a kid did something on social media, or someone did something on social media that took advantage of a child. Okay. And that'll take maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll get in my car and I'll head home. Okay. I don't get paid for it. Okay. I do it voluntarily. It helps out the community. And yes, it's fun to do. And yes, it helps, 100% helps my image. Okay. So if you ever think the media is biased, think, well, it must be Patrick that's biased, right? No, it's not Patrick that's biased. I just give my information. But I'm going to tell you how these news stories are put together, because I'm usually one part of a news story. A reporter finds out some information from a family, or somebody sends them information in the news, or they find out, a local headline from another station. or a politician sends a press release, okay? And this is what a reporter usually does to get the information. They will call, two or three people. One of them is an expert in the industry, me, okay? They will often go talk to the victims or the family that was involved in the story. Okay, so in this particular case, this story was about the school shooting in. Someone remind me where that was. Was that Michigan? Was that Ohio? It was a little bit about that story. Okay, and on social media, somebody had found a local junior high school boy, on the internet who had the same name as that person, and they had reshared that information with the person's picture and the person's Oklahoma information that happened to match the actual shooter's name, and they said this is a picture of the guy. And from what I understand, the family started getting raked over the coals, okay? And somehow the news got a hold of it, and then the reporter gets involved because that is a significant story. And so they talked to me about the dangers of resharing. I just realized that's kind of ironic. The dangers of resharing information on social media that's not true, which anybody can do. Anybody can share information on social media that's not true. It's kind of scary a little bit if you ask me. So they talked to me, and then we're going to go talk to the parents. But usually they'll talk to one of three or four sources. They will talk to an industry expert, which is me. Okay, if it's something having to do with legality or law, they will talk to a lawyer. Okay, they have different lawyers who can they go visit. They can go visit also. Okay, they will oftentimes talk to the people or the family directly involved. And then they may go do like a man on the street interview. It just depends on the type of story. Okay. So a reporter themselves usually gives very little contribution of the content of the story. Their job is to, at least all the reporters I've worked with, their job is to consolidate all the information from the different experts and summarize it in, like a 1 or 2 minute story. The anchor will push to that story, they'll run that story, and then that will push back to the anchor. That's the typical news flow, and we see it every single night. I don't know how in the world that could be a biased news story, okay? They're just talking to a bunch of experts not giving their own opinion. So when we're talking about biased news stories, we have to be careful that we're talking about things that could actually have bias, okay? This issue with this kid here local in Oklahoma whose information was put forth as the shooter, okay? That's not really biased. It's black and white. Some kind of verified Twitter account shared it, which is even more scary because you think a verified Twitter account would have some level of authority or integrity. Nope, 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 nope. Please remember this. A blue check mark on social media doesn't mean jack when it comes to looking for the truth, okay? Blue check mark people didn't take some oath and said, I will only reshare truthful information, so help me God, okay? They can lie and mislead as much as anybody, so don't get fascinated with blue check marks, okay? I had a blue check mark on Twitter for a while, and I think once you had to pay for them, it was taken away from me. But my whole point there is there are certain news stories that I'm involved with that just can't be biased. However, in the political season that we're in September of 2024, it is politicians, and I won't nail one to the wall that much, but we all know who I'm talking about. Certain politicians love to breed mistrust in the media. They love to breed mistrust in the news, okay? And the reason I think this is, I don't know. So this is, for the record, this is 100% Patrick op-ed, okay? The reason I think that is because it gives them a reason to be a hero. Okay. And somebody brought this up in this discussion thread on my Facebook wall the other day, which I would encourage you to, again, go read, is people need a hero. And politicians, one of the ways politicians scare you into voting is by convincing you that the other places you get your information and other information about them in general is false. Okay. Elon and the T-Man, E-Man, E-Man, the T-Man, E-Man and the T-Man are on a mission to convince us that everything that they don't put out, everything that doesn't come from them, is a load of crap. Okay? One of them created a media network, and the other one bought a media network. Okay, a very popular one. Okay? And now both of them on the regular share misleading information, and they will come out with their own voice and on video and say, every other place it's not us, they are sharing misinformation. You need to come to us because we're going to be your hero. We'll solve this. We only share truth. Good. I mean, am I the only one that thinks Truth Social is the most ironic name ever when that man just vomits lies? Anyways, we won't go down that rabbit hole too much, okay? So I think that oftentimes we need an enemy to be a hero, okay? I may or may not have done it. I don't know, okay? Um, if I ever have, please definitely call me out on it. There was a show a while back with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. Somebody help me with what this show was, where one of them, where some guy realized it was Bruce Willis's character, okay, had like superhuman strength, okay. He could fix all these amazing problems, and come to find out later, oh, it was part of the Glass series, okay? It may have been Broken or Glass. I remember that's Samuel L. Jackson's character name was Glass. So someone put that in the comments. You can remember what movie that was. But Bruce Willis' character finds out that he has all these superhuman strengths and these ability to sense things. Unbreakable. Frankie, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Unbreakable. Frankie's got me covered today. So Bruce Willis discovers he has all these superhuman powers, and he has no idea why. And eventually, Samuel L. Jackson's character reveals himself and basically says, someplace in this series, that you exist because I exist, okay? For every hero out there, a villain must be created, okay? Or the villain appears first and the hero shows first. I think in this particular, I can't remember the entire plot of the movie. In my opinion, in my not so humble opinion, on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, I think oftentimes the Elons and the Trumps of the world have to invent an enemy to be a hero, okay? The T-Man and the E-Man are out here trying to convince people that they have the right answers, that they are the ones that are sharing the freedom of speech, when ironically it's far, far from it. Okay. In our day of AI, in our day of every person having a blog or a YouTube channel, sometimes I think we feel more comfortable if we're a rebel. Like, I don't get my news. I don't get my news from the TV. I don't get my news from lamestream media. Goodness gracious. People just love to blame the media for their problems. You're proud. Some people are just proud of their ignorance. They're proud of not doing their research. They're proud of not fact checking. They're like, well, I saw the local TV station put up a bad story once. I don't trust them ever since then. I'm going to go over here to rightwingshitshow.com and go get my news because I trust them. Oh my goodness! I just fall into a Midwest backwards country accent. That was totally unintentional. I apologize. But we enjoy thinking that we're rebels, okay? We enjoy thinking we get our news from different sources. We enjoy thinking that, we subscribe to a YouTube channel that presents the truth versus the lamestream media. And all you're doing is kidding yourself, okay? The people like the E's and the T's of the world are just here to build mistrust, okay? And they're here to convince you that they are going to be your savior, okay? They are not your savior. I am not your savior. Your local TV news anchor is not your savior. Kamala is not your savior, okay? There is no politician in the world or no news broadcaster in the world that is here to save you. We are here to, share information, hopefully share it as truthfully as possible. And then, hopefully entertain along the way, but educate is the most important thing here. Someone also asked how I discover my news. So Patrick, if you're so good at this, and everyone, people that are saying that the news is full of crap, if you know those people are full of crap, Patrick, what do you do to make sure that you don't consume the crap from the crap people who are saying the real people push out the crap? I don't have a perfect answer, but here's what I do when I go looking for news, okay? I don't do this every single day, but there are some times in the morning where I take a few minutes and I go browse news, okay? I go to the major 3 or 4 networks, national sites, okay? I will go to NBC News, I will go to Fox, I will go to CBS, I will go to NBC and I'll just kind of scan. Okay. I'll scan. I'll scan for stories. I'll look for commonalities. Okay. I'll try to remember that the internet is clickbait drives the internet. Okay. You have to be aware that clickbait and thumbnails drive the internet. I am guilty of it. It's the game we play. Okay. I don't do it to mislead. It's just thumbnails. So, for example, for this show, let me know if you saw the thumbnail for this show, okay? Every single show that I do now, I create a thumbnail ahead of time to try to get your attention, okay? It's just the price. It's not. It's the game we play in media and in marketing, okay? The world is made up of thumbnails these days and made up of headlines. So I'll scan headlines. I'll try to avoid the clickbaity ones. I'll try to make sure that I avoid the ones, if you're not careful, you'll see like a headline and like right above it, it says sponsored. Look for the word sponsored on a website. Anything under the word sponsored is an ad. It's not a news story. It's not even a entertainment. It is an ad to drive someone to some other piece of content to buy something, okay? If you ever want to see something really funny, go to CNN.com and count the number of sponsored areas on the website. I think I've gotten up to 15 or 20. And there are some news websites where it's just you can't even get through it's hard to even find the content. Let me see, what does on your resume say here? The normally quiet lady pipes in. The unfortunate reality is that no one has the whole story. Very, very true. Thank you for saying it. It isn't possible. You're right. We don't have nobody, even the best reporters in the world, don't have an unlimited amount of time. The reporters that I work with over the TV stations, they were working on a different story right before mine, and they have to wrap it up and go edit the story so they can work on another story. Okay, so even it's their full-time job, 8 hours a day. Even they don't have the time to do full research on a story. They work on it a couple hours and they move on to the next one. So we are responsible for taking in as many parts as we can from as many sources as we can. Very well put. Please read on the screen what she said down there. That is very, very wise words. Part of your responsibility for being, I'm going to say in this country, but it's not just in this country, it's on this planet, is, filtering the information you take in and making sure it is correct. It's just our responsibility, and we shouldn't sacrifice that responsibility, okay? Please do not sacrifice the responsibility to be smart or to educate yourself. Goodness gracious. I could probably start over on another hour and just rant like old man. I'll just be like an old man, get off my lawn. You know what? People quit giving up your responsibility for stuff like that. So what I was saying is I go to multiple news sources. I scan, okay? I do go over to Drudge Report, which I think is probably 100% biased in some areas. But the thing I like about Drudge Report is it's just headlines. So Drudge Report to me is very easy to scan. Scan. Oh, look, I found a story on Drudge that happens to match something over on NBCnews.com. Let me dig into them both, okay? Oftentimes, if it's like local news or local op-ed, I'll scan all the local sites, okay? I'm very good at like going to the KFORs, KWTVs, Foxes, all the local news websites and scanning all those, okay? And let me see, what else do I do? What else do I do there? Yeah, so I scan all those, and then from that I form my opinion on what the news of the day is and what I need to be paying attention to. One thing I do not do, or like maybe the other day, one thing I severely do, I'm not quite sure which way you want to put it, is if I see any kind of news headline shared on social media, the first thing I do is grab the headline and go Google it. Or if I see anything that looks like it's an old wives' tale, there's nothing wrong with Snopes. A lot of people think Snopes is full of crap, and Snopes is, I think, like right-leaning or left-leaning. You know what? There are some people on Snopes who have actually have some journalistic integrity. Then they go out and they research some stuff. Those tend not to be the news. Those tend to be old wives' tales and trends that just keep resurfacing on social media over and over and over. So if I see something incredulous on social media, I'll copy and paste that headline, drop it into Google in a heartbeat. If it comes up on Snopes, and the Snopes thing is false, then that's good enough. I don't care which way you think Snopes leans. They've done more work than you've done. And that's something else that pisses me off. It's going to be hard for me to sit here with my big balls and say that something is right or wrong when I don't have the information. compared to somebody who does have the information, okay? That just really grinds my gears to say something like that, okay? I have a full-time job. I have to rely on journalists. Sorry, is it the cherry chapstick? The strawberry chapstick. It's making some noise here. Okay, I got to wrap up. We're getting on time here, and all of us have a life. That's not news and rumor based. Okay, so that's how I gather my news. Lastly, I started making a checklist here as we wrap up to talk about some ways that I know that I make sure that I consume fairly unbiased information. Okay. Number one is I don't get overly reliant to one news source. Okay. I don't. I have no. There are news stations that I am fans of here in Oklahoma City. Okay, 100% because they call me over there and I get to be on their camera. Okay, 100%. However, I don't believe just because I walk in their studio that they are the only ones that are right. And if you've ever been to, sometimes we have some of our older relatives who get addicted to things like Fox. Okay, please, I'm just using Fox as an example. Don't shoot the messenger. We have older relatives, and I've seen older people who just do nothing but consume Fox all day long. Like Fox is on in the morning, and that's all they listen to. They will not switch to anything else. That's dangerous. Not because it's Fox. It's dangerous whether it's Fox, NBC, CBS, or ABC, or Telemundo, okay? It's just dangerous. So do not overly rely on one particular news source. Cross-check and verify, okay? If I see something incredible in the news that just really grabs me, I will cross-check it 2 or 3 places, okay? Making sure I read words from different reporters. Don't just read the same words from a same reporter on a different website. Read a story written by different reporters, okay? If you don't have time to verify a news story, something really incredulous, and you don't know whether or not it's true, but it seems incredulous, so you want to share that on social media, please don't do that, okay? Don't share information if you yourself haven't put in the least amount of effort to verify that it's true, okay? Do not trust social media, okay? Do not trust stuff that is just either stuff that, for example, like stuff that's shared in images. It's very easy for me to fabricate like a Fox-looking headline or a Fox News story in an image without linking to the actual image, okay? Just like it's easy for me to fabricate text messages and for me to fabricate Facebook conversations. There's apps where I can do that, and I can share that and say, ooh, look I found this on social media. Ooh, look what someone DM'd me. I can fake all that, okay? Do not trust information that's shared in images like that. If you see an image shared on social media or in a conversation that says incredulous, ask somebody for the source, which I love to do because nobody gives me sources, or just go Google the headline yourself. Okay, that is just, please go do that. I have a habit, I don't know if it's a good habit or not, you have to tell me, of calling out bullshit on social media. If something is just outright wrong, I'll jump in and say, you're full of crap, it's wrong, and here's why, and I'll link to a legitimate news source. That's how we got to this story today, okay? I got involved in a conversation where someone was saying, do not trust the media, and I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, let me put my sauce in it, okay? No. Do not say you distrust something, because then I will distrust you, okay? And again, even, pay attention to sites like Snopes, because oftentimes big time internet rumors, they go in cycles. For those of us that are on the internet more than 5 minutes, we know that, we'll see the same old wives' tales, the same things shared year after year. If I see something that says, and oftentimes people like refresh the date. So if I see something that says in 2024 that something happens with ballots, and this is how you know it's fake, like you can Google that. And it's like, oh yeah, that story was created 10, 15 years ago, and the headline was just refreshed. So again, I don't even trust Snopes 100%. It's just one way to cross-check and verify. Okay, let me know if this has been useful for you. Let me know if you're watching, you've never commented. Okay, you got to comment. You got to give me some love. I have a very delicate ego here. Okay, I can't do this by myself. It's just me and the cats in this room. Me and the cats and the coffee and the water. It is going on 10 o'clock here, Friday, September 13th. As always, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, and this is actually like this topic. We might talk about this topic some more when I'm not talking about nerdy tech stuff, is just the importance of truth in the information that we consume. It just really, again, I'll say here, just really the lack of personal responsibility of consuming the information and of being responsible for your own education is a topic that I didn't realize chafes me, but now I know it really does chafe me. Have a great, great day. I love every single one of you, and I appreciate any time you give it here, especially those of you who may choose to watch us later on YouTube or listen on the podcast. Thank you, my podcast listeners. If you ever have a topic you want to cover, please text the number that's on the screen, 405 217 4752. Or if you want any of our, marketing, any of our marketing skills inside your business, text 405 217 4752 and let's have a conversation. Go out there and have a great, great Friday. Hopefully, you will have a smile on your face as I play the closing music. And you know what? Let's just have a good day. I'm not sure if I should play the closing theme music or the stop doing nothing closing intro because I really like that closing music. Okay, you know what? We're gonna play the countdown timer that has the really cool closing music on it. But don't worry about the 5-minute countdown timer because just listen to the music for a second because the music is a banger. Okay, have a good day.